Carolina with Greg T in the morning.
On 103.5 KTU.
103.5 KTU, the beat of New York. It's Carolina Bermudez with Greg T in the morning, and one of our favorites, it is Kesha. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
We were actually just talking the last time I saw you. We were discussing your makeup line.
Yes.
And you were so generous and so sweet. You sent us stuff after, which everybody says they're going to do it, and then they never end up doing it, but Kesha did it. And now we are so excited to have you here today.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited too. It's been a minute.
Technically, how long?
I've been making my new album for 3 years, so approximately 3 years.
It's been 3 years, and so much has happened in the world since then. Obviously everything shut down, and it probably gave you more time to concentrate and really focus on this new project, right?
To be honest with you, I hadn't been still, been in one place for longer than about 2 weeks for 12 years previous to being locked down. Mm-hmm. So it was really weird for me. I mean, I'm sure it was weird for everyone,
right?
Collectively a traumatic experience. But
I stocked up on Pop-Tarts.
And Pirates booty, Kesha.
Sure. Oh my gosh.
I swear to you. No, and we're not exaggerating. When the world was shutting down, I called Greg T and I said, you got to go. They're saying
I
we
got
have
to get food for the family.
He got water, Pop-Tarts, and Pirates booty.
Well, here you are.
Those are the things
and he survived. But, you're saying 12 years, and you think about how grueling that is as an artist, because not only are you working a record, but you're also touring, you're out there, you're doing all of these things. And so what was that like for you to be still?
It was really anxiety inducing, honestly. Making this album, how the first song came about is one night I was just having so much anxiety, not only for me, but, watching what was going on around the entire world. Sure. And I just didn't know what to do. So I took up meditating heavily. And there was one night where I just was this panic attack that was really, if you've ever had a panic attack, they're really unpleasant. You feel like you're going to die. And then I had this it was like a miraculous break in my mind where my cat comes on the bed, puts headphones in my hand. Never done it ever before and never done it since. So I put the headphones in and I usually meditate with them. So I was like, all right, I'll meditate. And then I had this really beautiful, almost psychedelic experience where I started talking to
the cat.
Well, the cat or God or my higher self or source energy.
Through this meditation?
Through the meditation.
Wow.
Which I've read how that can happen, but it never happened to me. So I was always like, oh, I'm just not enlightened enough for that. But so this one night it happened and it was super scary, but it was also beautiful. And I've always been a searcher. I studied comparative religion before I decided to quit and make music forever. So the first song I wrote for the album, I woke up the next day and I called my doctor and I was like, okay, I think my brain broke. What do I do now? And everyone I called was like, you had a spiritual awakening. Congratulations. But it was really terrifying because I thought I just lost it. And then that day I wrote the first song on the album.
Have you ever had another spiritual awakening, or is that the only one?
That's the only one. But I get little hints. I'll sometimes tell the universe hey, I need a little extra love today. I need to see, whatever it is, a blue butterfly. And then I'll see one randomly in a funny place. So I take those little hints, which of course you can totally rationalize away. But for me, it makes living a little bit more fun.
Well, that third eye has been wide open now, and I feel like you can receive so many things. And that's what's really interesting about this new project, because I feel like it's a different path, right?
Oh, so different.
And I think that people are preparing. Well, I know that you've seen the first reactions from people, the videos and stuff. I know you mentioned something like that. So a lot of your fans who have been waiting for this new music, what can you tell people about this particular part of your journey for Kesha?
Okay, so I know historically I'm known as the party starter, and I love that. I love helping facilitate a place or an environment where people just pop off. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite, and I've been doing that for so long. But I didn't feel like I was supposed to share the more vulnerable stuff as much, because that's just not what people want from me. That's not what I'm here to do. That's not my job. That's like, just keep all that inside. And so for this album, after doing a bunch of reading, it's like there is no light without dark. There's a balance. So I felt like I was doing a disservice to my fans and myself to not address the harder and uglier emotions, because I think in a world where we all post pictures of ourselves looking banging hot,
Right.
and we like Facetune or like songs with auto-tune all over it, which, like, no shade, I just wanted to give the other side of the coin emotionally.
Well, and it's
of
growth,
myself.
Yeah, and you
right?
did, you
I mean,
did.
definitely. I feel like this is a period of growth for you. You worked with Rick Rubin on this
Oh
album,
my God.
which I want to talk about that in itself. It's like meeting with the guru of all gurus. Like, tell me about the process of working with Rick, because I've heard many artists talk about it, and they say that he takes you to such a different place.
So different.
Yeah.
I think his process, and I don't know how he works with other people, it's just my experience, was he really made this space that was judgment free, and then it felt so safe to say all the craziest shit I could ever want to say, and there was zero judgment. There was like no reaction. He would sometimes be like, go further, go harder, like go more intense, more deranged. And I was like, okay, more curse words. And I was like, all right. So that was really fun to just be able to express all like the wildest stuff that I keep inside that I historically would not express to the entirety of the world.
Right.
But to have somebody just encouraging you to get it out of your system felt so healing. It was also just me and him, and then an engineer. So it was taking away anybody else's influence on me and really helping me get down to like the really deep. It was like music therapy.
It sounds like you gained your freedom.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like it just artistically, there's that freedom there to express and to be you, which is just so beautiful, you know? So the way that people can take it, it's up to their own interpretation.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's what
So
art is.
That's what art is. And did you read The Creative Act, The Way of Being, Rick Rubin's book? Because
I'm listening to it on Audible right now. I'm being totally honest with you.
everything that you're saying, though, is all about the process and what
Yeah.
he writes about. And so that's why I think it's just, you know, for me, seeing you throughout the past 12 or
Yeah.
however many years and watching your career, you know, this is really exciting. So Gag Order, it comes out May 19th.
May 19th.
The day after my birthday, Kesha.
Oh
Thank
my
you for the birthday present.
gosh. You can get
Yes.
it at midnight, I bet. Happy
You did
birthday.
have to. Thank you, baby. But yeah, so, you know, we're really excited to see what else you have on the album. You released 2 singles. We've heard them. We have
Eat the Acid
here
and
at
Fine
KTU.
Line.
Yes. Now, you also wrote on this album with your mother, I heard.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that process like?
Well, it's nice to write with someone who knows you so well. They created you.
Right.
So there was no, all the pretense, bravado. It was like not available. You're with someone that is a straight shooter, it does not mince words, and knows me better than anybody in the world. So I think that's why we got some of the depth of these songs, because she's an amazing songwriter. She taught me how to write songs. So working with her, it was just really healing, like across the board. It was really healing. And I think, you know, a lot of it had to do with just being by myself. I went to work with Rick in Hawaii for a month, and I didn't take anybody. It was the first time I'd gone somewhere without security in a very long time.
And a team of people,
Yeah.
and, you know, like just all of the things that surround you in the
Yeah.
industry, right?
Yeah. So it was nice. And then my mom having that support of just being like, yes, go in. Like having Rick always be like, go in. And my mom's like, I know you're more mad, go in. Just having everybody encourage me to really go for it and not be polite. That was one of the main things that was my mantra in making this record, is like, don't be polite. Don't cater to who you used to be. Don't cater to anyone else's opinions. Just be fucking brutally honest.
But also be you. Because isn't
Yeah.
that something that we teach little girls, like
Yeah.
from the time that we were raised, like younger, I mean, or at least me,
Yeah.
I was always told, be nice.
Oh,
Be
that's a
nice.
huge thing on this record, because ever since I was little, don't know why, I always thought there's nothing more unattractive than an angry woman. So I could express any other emotion, but anger was off the table. And this album, I actually got to dive into that because we're supposed to be nice.
Yeah.
We
All
have
the
to
time.
be
And
all the
polite.
time.
Exactly.
And like, you don't know what hormones are raging or the day of my period or what I'm going through behind the scenes. Like, always be nice. And I fancy myself a pretty nice person, but it's okay to make art that is not nice.
I have that difficulty at home. I have 2 daughters and a wife, so I don't know when they're having their period either. It's very confusing to me.
Minefield with the hormones. Hormones really, my hormones fuck me up. So just being able to go for it and like get angry. And guess what? I'm still alive. It didn't kill me. Like, and
Well, and also somebody else can pull from that and they can connect with you and they can also say, okay, it was okay for her to do that and to go there. Then it's okay for me to do the same.
Yeah.
You're a writer. You've written songs for so many different artists throughout your career. Was there anything on this album that you thought to yourself that you were like, maybe this one isn't for me, or are they all yours? Was it hard to choose?
Oh, I have like 70 songs.
Really? For
So,
this album? So how did you whittle it down?
That was with a lot of help from Rick because he kept trying to make it more and more vulnerable. And I kept being like, no, please, let's have a banger. And he was like, no bangers. But we ended up in a nice middle ground where
Okay.
there's a couple bangers.
Great.
But they're all emotional.
Okay.
Like, one of his pieces of advice or like guidance was the songs can have, like, they can sound however they sound, but they need to lyrically and emotionally, they need to emote life or death. So it was intense. He wanted it to be intense. So all the like more polite songs, I'm thinking
Shelving for a
I'm
bit.
shelving
Yeah.
and when I feel a little bit more polite, maybe I'll put them out.
Perhaps. And we can always wait for that. But, like we said, Gag Order comes out May 19th.
Yeah.
So we're all so excited to hear it in its entirety because I feel like this conversation, just knowing what went behind it, like how you were feeling and the process of it, I cannot wait to hear it.
Yeah, me too.
In
I
its
cannot
entirety.
wait too. And I'm so curious what people are going to think because it is so different. It's so different.
On the lighter side of things, I mean, a lot of your fans love, Conjuring Kesha or the funny stuff you did with Impractical Jokers.
Yeah.
Will you be doing some more of those things to lighten things up?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of the album is you can be both light and dark. I think that's the thing I wanted to give of myself to show that you can be both the chick that wrote TikTok and the chick that wrote Fine Line and Eat the Acid. We, a lot of times as women, get put into a box, I feel, just in society where you're either, if you're angry, you're an angry woman. If you're funny, you're a funny woman. If you're a hot woman, you're just a hot woman. But really, we're all of those things. So why not showcase all the sides? And I think I'm pretty fucking funny. So I absolutely love doing.
I think you were great with Impractical Jokers. I thought it was
Thank
great.
you. I
And,
love pranking people.
And then the Conjuring Kesha has really got me startled. I'm actually wanting to know. So when will season 2 come out? Is there a debut?
Honestly, with
Come
the
on.
album, I don't know
Yeah.
when it's going to come out, but that was one of my favorite things I've ever shot. I went from city to city, like
Right.
haunted prison to
Yeah.
haunted insane asylum, conjuring spirits.
Right, and you were not nervous?
I
mean,
was
I'd be
super
freaked.
nervous. It was so fun though, because I love anything that's like in the paranormal realm it's my favorite.
Chef's kiss.
I love it.
She's all about it.
Yes, I love it. So like give me a ghost meter and a haunted house and I'm like happy as a clam.
Wow.
Well, you know what, just to go back really quickly, because I know that we don't have a whole lot of time with you, but I do want to say this about you, Kesha. Like, I think that people have underestimated your depth. I really do, because as an artist, people have heard you write, they've heard you sing, they've seen you perform, and I don't think that they've ever really understood that you could go to this space.
Yeah.
Right? And I think every woman has the ability to do that.
Absolutely.
And so I really, really hope that there are girls that are listening today that are on their way into work or school with their mom or their dad or anyone that can discuss it and say, you know what, if she had the ability and the freedom to do that, then I have it too. So
Absolutely. I want every human that hears this to feel inspired to express yourself. You know, I have a long list of times that I've gotten interpreted wrong or projected onto incorrectly, and I really feel like this album balances out who I am. So this piece of work, with all the rest that I've done, hopefully people can really see a complete picture of who I really am.
Yeah.
There's so much fun and happiness, and I want to bring light and love to any human I touch. And I'm human and have emotions that are embarrassing and rageful and ugly, and that's okay. That's okay. So anybody that's listening that feels like they have to keep all their emotions inside, I totally think art is a perfect way to express all these emotions. It doesn't hurt anyone. It's actually such a beautiful release.
I don't think there's any confusion with the first two songs. I think it's pretty. I think everybody's gonna get the message. I think you got
hope
it.
so.
Oh,
I hope it
there's
helps
no way missing
people.
it.
I hope it helps people
Yeah.
because, you know, it's not that fun to like sing about how you feel so fucking insecure, but I cannot be the only person in the world that feels that way in a moment, and then it
Right.
passes.
Right.
But so I wanted to put out that side of myself because I think our society is skewed towards just sharing the good stuff, and I
Right.
think it's important to show both sides.
Well, we
Great.
love the
It's
party
great.
Kesha. We also love the vulnerable Kesha.
Yeah.
We're here
Thank
for
you.
We're here for all sides
Right.
of Kesha. Seriously,
love
and we're
that.
ready
You're the
to
package.
receive
You're
it.
the all the big package.
I'm the full package,
Yeah,
honey.
full
I'm the
package,
full package,
baby.
honey.
Get
I
it
am
all.
wife material.
Wifey material. She said it. Now, don't Greg
My
T.
wedding ring comes off.
Yeah,
It's not a
exactly.
problem.
Seriously,
Look,
watch
now I'm
yourself
available.
around him.
We're
He
good.
is
Wedding ring,
uncontrollable.
we're ready.
Kesha, it has been so delightful, and I just want you to know you always have a place here at KTU. We
Thank you.
absolutely adore you, and we are just so thrilled that you came to visit us. We will be waiting May 18th at midnight.
May 18th, midnight for your birthday. We
Yes.
planned that specifically for you.
Specifically for me.
So happy birthday. And anybody listening, I'm so excited for you to hear the new incarnation.
We're here for it. Kesha, everybody, thank you so
So
much
much
for
love.
coming over. Oh,
Thank
my
you.
goodness.
Carolina with Greg T in the morning.
On 103.5 KTU.